everyone. Welcome to Save News TV. Thank you so much for allowing us into your homes because, as always, you don't have to, but we really do appreciate it. And so, anyway, to start off today, we're going to take care of a little housekeeping as we always do. We did a video the other day, I did, regarding the Shanquella Robinson case and her situation as far as the person being detained. Well, anyway, there's no news come out. However, I did contact the United States State Department and put in a request for an interview for them to be able to explain to the audience what deep detainment means and what is the extradition process. However, I knew that they could not speak on a case specifically, and I'm going to read to you what I wrote them. They called me immediately. We had a conversation and they sent me an official statement. So, what I wrote to them was, we desire an interview to explain to our audience the process of international extradition of an American citizen to Mexico in a criminal case. We are reporting on the case of Shanquella Robinson and the arrest warrants issued by Mexico to the suspect of this crime. We understand that you will not be able to speak directly to this case. Many people are confused. Many people confuse international extradition process with local, state, and federal law. We desire to educate our audience on the difference, the process, and the rights of U.S. citizens in order for them to be extradited. Okay. So after I sent my request to the United States State Department, they called, we had a conversation, and they sent me an official statement in which I am going to read to you all. And their statement is, and they said, the following can be attributed to a State Department spokesperson. First statement: when a U.S. citizen dies in a foreign country, local authorities are responsible for determining the cause of death and issuing a death certificate. The second statement: the Department of State supports a thorough investigation into the circumstances of this incident and is closely monitoring local authorities' investigation. We refer you to the Mexican authorities for further questions regarding an investigation. The third statement: as a matter of long-standing practice, the department does not comment on extradition matters. The fourth and final statement was, the department does not provide confirmation of or commentary on investigations due to privacy and law enforcement considerations. So anyway, those are the issues with the State Department as far as they issuing a statement on that. So we already knew, because we've been in journalism for many years, that they do not make a statement, an official statement on an ongoing live case. So if you're in the replay crew, you want to go back and listen to what the State Department gave Save News regarding this situation. Now, I'm going to, even though I'm still talking about this subject, I'm going to pivot a little, because we've noticed a very disturbing trend with people on, bloggers on YouTube and different things. It hasn't happened to us, let's say that are encouraging people to strike channels, to mass flag them if they talk about this case, and they're waiting for mainstream media. They can do what they wish as far as that's concerned. But let me give anyone fair warning that, I know a lot of people, large channels come to our platform to get information, and that's fine. But I want to warn those that are encouraging their viewers to mass flag um, channels and to report them if they're talking about this. I can only speak for SAVEDnews. We have had an attorney on retainer for over 10 years. Well, not, over 10 years, because we've been in business a little over 10 years. And I want to encourage you, let you know that if you try that with SAVEDnews, we are not going to be like the rest of the channels. You will immediately receive a cease and desist from SAVEDnews. Followed up within that cease and desist will be a request for a retraction of what you've done. And also, of course, we will let YouTube or whatever platform it is know what you are doing, because that's against their guidelines. And if you don't do that, then we will follow up with legal action. SAVEDnews has absolutely zero tolerance for intimidation. I know some channels, they have, just gone along with it. They're calling people that report on this particular case different names and different things like that, dragging them through the mud. But I will say this, as being in the media for years, what you're doing really is harming it more than what you because you want receipts. The federal government is not giving receipts. Again, go back to the beginning of the video so you can hear me read the official statement from the United States State Department. They're not going to comment on a case that is active. They're not going to, and as far as extradition, they're not going to give you a receipt. The process is different, and you need to do your own due diligence. So again, that's what I encourage you to do. We here report on news that we believe are factual and true, and you can believe how you like. We are not forcing you to believe anything. But again, I say to those channels that are encouraging people to mass flag YouTube channels that talk about this subject, or to strike them, their audience, do not do this here. It will not go well for you. And like I stated, mainstream media would have never picked up on this topic if it hadn't been for grassroots, Black Twitter, and different things of that nature. So when you discourage people from talking about something, that's what got Nancy Grace would have never talked about this subject. ABC, CBS, NBC, never, until they started seeing it trending. So anyway, you all do what you want to do with your channels, and we're going to do what we want to do with ours. Again, like I stated, if you come over here to mass flag or to tell people to mass flag our channel, legal ramifications will be awaiting you. All right, so let's move on. All right, the next story that we're going to get into is the LeBron James and Jerry Jones. I am here to tell you, we also did a video regarding the Kyrie Irving situation and how they drug him for filth. And so now we have, and we were saying, we explained what it was and why it was doing it, why they were doing it. And we told them, along with so many other platforms, not just us, for them to keep the same energy that they had to drag, especially our people, that they used to drag Kyrie Irving, to keep that same energy. Well, I have to say that LeBron James is trying to redeem himself, and he has come out with a statement. And so what we're going to do is we're going to share his statement, and we're going to discuss it. And we're also going to share what Jerry Jones' response was to it. So let's get into it right now. Let's listen, everybody.
Why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, then. Well, now we have Mr. LeBron James. He came up with his, keeping that same energy. Why haven't you all asked us about Jerry Jones? You know that Jerry Jones have made this, caught with his picture with the Triple K crew when he was 14. And he has addressed it. And I thank LeBron James for bringing that up. But, again, he did not address it appropriately. So let's see what Jerry Jones had to say. Let's share this screen. We are pulling this news source from the Shade Room. If you all don't go over there sometimes, go over there. They have some news from time to time, and we do appreciate them. And so we're going to give them credit where credit is due. They pulled this story, and so we're going to give them proper credit. Now, instead, they wanted Jerry Jones to disavow slavery, but we all know that that's not happening. So instead of disavowing slavery and getting the same steps that Kyrie did for sharing a tweet, that he did not produce the movie, he wasn't a part of the movie, he did not make any money, and we're going to go on to Amazon also regarding this too. But let's play this.
Idea. So and that doesn't change. There's nothing about any of that changes, and I did hear what he had to say.
I was curious if you heard about what LeBron James said about media disparity, and not that long ago he had said he's not particularly a Cowboys fan anymore. Did you hear what LeBron said, and would you have any interest in meeting with him and chatting with him?
Well, first of all, you have to hear me say how much I think of LeBron. And I couldn't, I don't know of anybody I respect anymore. I don't know of anybody that has taken every opportunity he's had and maximized it, made buttons pop off my vest, so to speak, when he would talk about how much of a Cowboy fan he was, and he would have made a great tight end. So, and that doesn't change.
Okay. So in essence, what Jerry Jones did or didn't do was he did not disavow slavery. He did not volunteer to send any money to NAACP, any groups of people. He just said what he said, which was a bunch of nothing. And he did absolutely not answer the question. He did not disavow slavery. He did not disavow racism. So, it is what it is. And we bring these stories along with a lot of other content creators just to bring knowledge so you will know that when you're counseling people, be careful who you counsel, but counsel the right people. Because, again, there was a lot of energy for Kyrie, who shared a link, but the media suppressed the photo or the information as far as everybody talking about Jerry Jones. That's the way the media works. As soon as people realize that mainstream media is a business, there are connections, there are certain things that's going to be reported on and certain things that's not going to be reported on. And it is what it is. So we encourage you to seek out other media outlets, smaller content creators, newspapers, and things of that nature, but also fact check and do your due diligence on everything. It seems like a follow-up day. Now, we also talked about Balenciaga the other day, and as you know, the last time we talked about them, they were going to sue the content creators and all of this. But we explained to you the other day that how a advertising campaign works. An advertising campaign, first of all, there's meetings where they sit down and discuss the goal of that company, the agency and the company, if there's a third party agency. They discuss the strategy, what you're trying to achieve. Then the advertising agency leaves, they come up with a campaign, and they bring it back to the company. The company then looks over it, make any changes if necessary, sign off on it, say, go ahead, we love it, go ahead. So then after the advertising agency come back, now they're going to get a deposit. After the advertising coming back with the final product, they're going to sign off on it again and write them their final check. So when Balenciaga said, oh, we're going to sue these people, we didn't know this was happening, nobody bought that, because we know that that's not how it works. No third party agency can start an advertising campaign, all of that work to get paid and not get paid. You understand? So anyway, when the smoke really got on to Balenciaga and they realized that people really wasn't buying what they were selling, they shifted courses. And so now we have a new statement from them. And so let's just read on what they are saying. Now, Balenciaga takes the following actions with the objective to learn from our mistakes as an organization. New control instances. Our current process for content validation has failed. Well, see, we're starting off right now, but we're starting off wrong. They said their current process has failed. That's true. And we recognize the need to do better. All right. On the internal side, we nominate with immediate effect an image board responsible for evaluating the nature of our content from concept to final access, including legal, sustainability, and diversity expertise. Now, the first part sounds like crazy because they already, I'm sure the company that size, they already had at least the first part in place. And that is maybe not an image board for evaluating the process of content, but including legal, right? Because they can get sued. Evaluating the nature of our content from concept to final access. That's the part that they're shady about, because no advertising agency is going to just start a campaign and, without any direction, gonna put it up and then send a check, send an invoice and expect to be paid. They still skirting responsibility of this. Like I said, nobody was buying what they were selling as far as their excuses. And it was evident that they were, in trouble because, they come out with, we're going to sue them. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. Now, the third point, they go on to say, on the external side, we have appointed a best-in-class agency to assess and evaluate our content. Well, who were you using before? You just said you were going to sue the third party, so it sounded like you were using a third party before. So what you do, fire them and get another agency to evaluate? Did not your other agency do that? I'm just wondering where this idea came up from with these kids. Okay. They go on to say, organization, we have reorganized our image department to ensure full alignment with our corporate guidelines. Again, a bunch of nothing. Lawsuit. Now, this is what I want to get at. When they were busy trying to push the narrative that they weren't at fault, oh, we sorry, forgive us, then the heat really got hot. Then they said, oh, we're going to sue them. And it was like, how are you going to sue someone that you called as your agency, told them what your concept was? They took your concept, came up with an advertising campaign, brought it back to you for approval or changes. I'm sure you probably made changes and there was some back and forth and everything. They finally got a final product, brought it to you, and you signed off on it, and the campaign began. And I'm sure, like I said, the advertising agency has been paid. So you're going to tell us that now you're going to sue them people and you didn't know? No. And it's strange how they wrote one sentence on now. Balenciaga has decided not to pursue litigation. Okay. They decided not to pursue litigation because they knew they were going to lose. Because like I said, there's no agency that's just going to come up with a campaign and throw it up on billboards, throw it out to the media, buy magazine ads, social media ads and everything with this up here. No, you all came up with the concept, you approved it, and it is what it is. Okay? So then they go on to learn and contribute. We want to learn, help, and contribute to protect children. Okay. We are starting training on responsible communication across our teams. Together with my team, we will go on listening tour to engage in advocacy groups who aim to protect children. They're going on a listening tour. Well, are you going to do anything? You're going on a listening tour. Who are you going to listen to? Who have you been listening to? Because you've been listening to some people that is really detrimental to your business and to the innocent children that you were putting out this image and trying to draw in, allegedly. Okay? So anyway, now they said donations. They getting ready to put that money where their mouth is. That's what they said. We have set aside a significant fund for grants to organizations so that we can help make a difference in protecting children. Okay, we need to know how much. That's what we need to know. We need to know how much money you are putting aside. What's the definition of a significant fund for grants? And what does the organizations have to do to receive those funds? And what organizations are you going to issue them to? What are the guidelines? What are their stance? Do they align with the majority of people that did not approve of your advertising campaign? These are questions that the general population wants to know. And if you have children, you definitely should know. Children, grandchildren, cousins, niece, aunts. I mean, not aunts, but you know what I'm saying. This should be a concern to everyone because that campaign was very disturbing. We will not put that campaign up on our platform, the photos and everything. But like I stated, it was very, very, very disturbing. All right. So then they continued. I want to personally reiterate my sincere apologies for offensive calls and take my responsibility. At Balenciaga, we stand together for children's safety and do not tolerate any kind of violence or hatred message. But see, this is the thing. You know, I just don't have like everybody say, I have a slow tolerance for mess. And this is what that statement is. It's a mess. Because never once did they call a thing a thing. They know what's being said out here. They're using politically correct. There was nothing violent or hate message in that in their ad campaign. There was in a sense, but that wasn't the context of it. The context of it was that Supreme Court case and having children in holding bears in inappropriate attire, having the background with things that only adults should know. And it was targeting the kids with children with bears and things like that. So Mr. Cedric Chabit, who is the president and CEO. Yeah, right. Thanks, but come again with your excuses and everything of that nature. But again, like I said, if you are a parent, you have children, grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews. This isn't about race. Everyone has children or has minors in their sphere of life. These are things that should be very concerning to you. And there's a narrative that's being pushed, and as adults, we need to keep our eye on the ball. Now, we're going on to move on to our first story that lines up with the LeBron James and Jerry Jones, Kyrie Irving story. Now, again, we did the thing on Kyrie and Kanye, and we broke it down. So now, also, Kyrie Knight just canceled his contract with him, and it's amazing that just 4 days ago that the Amazon CEO put out a statement, and it says, now remember, now $500,000, losing money by being suspended, having 12 steps, 7 steps, whatever it was that Kyrie had to do, being dragged through the media, being shamed, everything for sharing a link on Twitter. Now, this is what the CEO, we talked about Jeff Bezos, but this is what the CEO says. Amazon CEO says, hey, we have no plans to take down anti-Semitic film Kyrie Irving shared. This is coming from The Hill. This is the CEO, Andy Jassy. Okay. He says, Amazon CEO on Wednesday signaled that the company would not take down any anti-Semitic film and book from its store that gained attention after Brooklyn Nets player Kyrie Irving promoted it. He said, no. You are not going to mess with my bag. No, he didn't say that part. I'd put that in. But this is what he said. I mean, Irving was suspended from the Nets after tweeting a link to a 2018 film entitled Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, which was based on a 2015 book of the same name and contained a number of anti-Semitic tropes. The film and book remain available on Amazon as pressure grows for their removal. Look, like I said, nobody came for Jeff Bezos, and they didn't come for Mr. Jassy. Jassy said, I don't care what you say. Y'all can demand all you want. We know you're going to continue to buy from Amazon. We ain't taking jack down. That's just my synopsis, okay? But really, this is what happened, what he said. He said, we have hundreds of millions of customers with lots of different viewpoints, Jassy told Andrew Ross Sorkin during an interview with the New York Times Deal Book Summit. And inside the company, we won't tolerate hate or discrimination or harassment. But we also recognize, as a retailer of content to hundreds of millions of customers with lots of different viewpoints, we have to be willing to allow access to those viewpoints, even if they are objectable, and even if they differ from our own personal viewpoints, Jassy added. Okay, now I am all for free speech, and I get it. But AZ's assessment breakdown of what he's saying is, look, we in America, we got free speech. I'm not pulling nobody book, and you ain't messing with my bag. Okay, that's just my breakdown of it. But I just read to you officially what he said. What's in quotes is what he said. What I just said is what I said. Okay, let's go on. Jassy, who identified himself as Jewish during the interview, took over as CEO last year after Amazon founder Jeff Bezos stepped down from the role. During Wednesday's interview, Jassy said he found parts of the film very objectionable, but argued removing the content would create a slippery slope, describing content removal discussions as one of Amazon's trickiest issues. In some cases, it's more straightforward. When you have content that actively incites or promotes violence or teaches people how to do things like pedophilia. I'm not saying that word. Y'all know I'm on these platforms, but make sure you go over to SAVEDnews TV on Amazon and Roku. That's where we have stuff. We can talk. Okay. Anyway, let me continue with his statement. Those are easy, Jassy said. We don't allow those, and those are straightforward decisions. When you have content whose primary purpose is not to espouse hate, ascribe negative characteristics to people, that is much trickier and a very slippery slope. And I agree with him on that. When you start, that's where the burning of books, I don't like what you say. I want you to do this. I'm going to take it down and burn the books and everything like that. I'm going to hinder your free speech because I don't like what you're saying. That's not what America is about. So I agree with him on that. Irvin, who previously garnered controversy for declining to get the V against C-19, causing him to miss games, made his on-court return last month after apologizing for promoting the film, which he was suspended on November 3rd. And I don't see sharing a link as promoting. He didn't say anything in that tweet, but again, I'm going to put the link in the description, or up here, to the video where we broke it down as far as our stance on that. Okay, then it says the 7-time All-Star had come under criticism after owner of the Nets and NBA commissioner and Jewish advocacy groups for the now deleted tweet. Nike also suspended their relationship with Irving, counseling the release of his ninth signature shoe with the company. And like I said, the reason why, the NBA did not have any heat or any smoke for Jeff Bezos and Amazon is because of money. And again, like I said, the video, go in our playlist and you'll be able to see the video. So we're moving sort of fast through the news today. It's been a beautiful day, and I just really appreciated the replay crew. Um, the replay crew is out, and again, we love you. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So our final story of today is dealing with the Supreme Court of the United States. And they heard the case regarding the graphic artists who design websites. And so we're going to go over this real quick and bring you the information regarding that, because there was some controversy. It reminded me of the case with the baker, but also we will be bringing other attorneys on as we move forward with some other issues that we want to discuss. Okay, so let's get it. Let's get into it. This is coming from the Associated Press. The Supreme Court taking up clash of religion and gay rights. The Supreme Court is hearing a case today of the Christian graphic artist who objects to designing wedding websites for gay couples, a dispute that's the latest clash of religion and gay rights to land at the highest court. The designer and her supporters say that ruling against her would force artists, from painters and photographers to writers and musicians, to do work that is against their faith. Her opponents, meanwhile, say that if she wins, a range of businesses will be able to discriminate, refusing to serve Black customers, Jewish or Muslim people, interracial or interfaith couples, or immigrants, among others. Hold up right here. I am sick and tired of every time somebody want to fight something for discrimination, they want to put Black people in it. Look, fight your fight, leave Black folk out of it. I understand there are Black gay people and everything like that, but don't use us for your civil rights fight. We're tired. I don't care what group it is. Don't use Black people for your civil rights fight. Okay, now let's move on with this article. The case comes at a time when the court is dominated 6-3 by conservatives and following a series of cases in which the justices have sided with religious plaintiffs. It also comes as across the street from the court, lawmakers in Congress are finalizing a landmark bill protecting same-sex marriage. The bill, which also protects interracial marriage, steadily gained momentum following the High Court's decision earlier this year to end constitutional protections for abortion. That decision to overturn 1973 Roe v. Wade prompted questions about whether the court, now that it is more conservative, might also overturn its 2015 decision declaring a nationwide right to same-sex marriage. Justice Clarence Thomas explicitly said that decision should also be reconsidered. The case being argued before the High Court Monday involves Lori Smith, a graphic artist and website designer in Colorado, who wants to begin offering wedding websites. Smith says her Christian faith prevents her from creating websites celebrating same-sex marriages, but that could get her in trouble with state law. Colorado, like most other states, has what's called a public accommodation law that says if Smith offers wedding websites to the public. She must provide them to all customers. Businesses that violate the law can be fined, among other things. 5 years ago, the Supreme Court heard a different challenge involving Colorado's law and baker Jack Phillips, who objected to designing a wedding cake for a gay couple. That case ended with a limited decision, however, and set up a return of the issue to the High Court. Phillips' lawyer, Christina Wagner of the Alliance Defending Freedom, is now representing Smith. Like Phillips, Smith said her objection is not to working with gay people. She says she'd work with gay clients who needed help with graphics for an animal rescue shelter, for example, or promote an organization serving children with disabilities. But she objects to creating messages supporting same-sex marriage, she says, just as she won't take a job that would require her to create content promoting atheism or gambling or supporting abortion. Smith says Colorado law violates her free speech rights. Her opponents, including Biden administration and groups such as American Civil Liberties Union, the NAACP, Legal Defense, and Educational Fund disagree. 20 mostly liberal states, including California and New York, are supporting Colorado's, while another 20 almost Republican states, including Arizona, Indiana, Ohio, and Tennessee, are supporting Smith. The case is 303 Creative LLC versus Elenis, 21-427. All right, then. So we're going to keep following that case and see how the Supreme Court decides to rule on that particular case. It would be interesting to see how they come about their decision, whether they would give a similar verdict as they did with the baker or not. We will see. As always, you can catch up on your news here at Save News TV. We will have it here. If you have any questions or comments or tips, please feel free to let us know. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you're coming in the middle of this video, I encourage you to go to the beginning of the video where we talk about the United States State Department official comment to Save News TV, excuse me, regarding extradition, and also our brief commentary on some of these things that's going on in these YouTube streets. We are a news, and we have other organizations, other shows that come on our channel. So we have different subjects that come across our channel. And again, like I said, we encourage you to go to the front of the video and catch up, especially if you're a content creator, throwing threats out here in the YouTube streets regarding how people should create their own content and how they should run their channel. But anyway, as always, you all have a blessed day. Thank you again for inviting us into your homes. Goodbye.